enters 4th seeded Oregon State, and that woman, Kelsey Reese, the hero in yesterday's ball game for Oregon State, taking on top seed Gonzaga, making its tournament debut. A look at our WCC tournament bracket, sponsored by SoldOut.com. Now, following this first semifinal tilt, Portland, Washington State will take the semifinal center stage. Both winners today advancing to the championship game tomorrow. Good afternoon, everybody. Ann Scott's joined by my broadcast partner. That's my good friend, Mary Murphy. These clubs know each other very well, meeting 2 times in the regular season, both games going to overtime.
That's exactly right. And when you say both of these programs, it is synonymous with the NCAA tournament, and that's what is at stake today. Only one team from the WCC will go to the tournament this year. Both these teams want to make it the plan.
High stakes. Okay, Nike key matchup, that's all you.
And it's a good one for Oregon State. A.J. Marat, 6'1", senior out of Austin, Texas. Absolutely best year of her career. She's solid, scoring, rebound, and facilitating, the queen of the mid-range, but she hit 2 big threes yesterday. And for Gonzaga, the queen of the WCC, Yvonne Ejim, 6'1", in her 5th year from Calgary, Canada, represented Canada in the Olympics this summer, 2-time WCC Player of the Year and 2-time WCC Defensive Player of the Year. She is a dominant presence at both ends of the floor.
Bonnie, what a resume. Speaking of serious resumes, Jordan Robinson, 3rd member of our broadcast crew. Jordan?
Well, Mary, you said it. Yvonne Ejim is a star of stars. She's only 7 points away of breaking the all-time Gonzaga scoring record. That's men's or women's. And as Coach Lisa Fortier says, from recruiting her to now, Ejim has completely transformed her game. As a freshman, she averaged just 6.5 minutes, but it was here in Vegas in the 2021 championship game where she broke out. Afterwards, Coach said, I think she's going to be a great player for us. Well, now, years later, she'll leave as one of the greatest players in program history, Ann.
Oh, I love that. Way to do your homework, young lady. Thank you, Jordan. Semifinal action underway here at the Orleans Arena. Top-seeded Gonzaga taking on 4th-seeded Oregon State. The Beavers defeating USF in a barn burner yesterday in quarterfinal action. Quick whistle. 3-second violation will go the other way. Starting lineups brought to you by Credit Union One. Discover better banking for all at cu1.com. We talked about Marat. Reese with the game winner yesterday. Keep your eyes on Fajeda. She does it all. Energizer Bunny. And Schuler, who runs the ship. Ejim doing what Ejim does, and that's grabbing that rebound. O'Connor missing badly. Schuler assesses what she has in the half court and will bring it out. Wow, oh, okay. Bolden, quick 3. Gonzaga starting 5. Allie Turner, that 3-ball threat, just a freshman. Keep your eye on number 11 wearing Gonzaga gear.
You know, Ann, we were at Gill for game 2 of this matchup this season, and Fajeda just did a fantastic job on Ejim, despite the fact that Ejim scored 31. She worked hard for the points.
That's good defense by Oregon State, making it difficult for Gonzaga to get the mid-range off.
Boy, Bolden making a 3 early is a huge good thing for this team. Averages just 31% from 3-point.
Bolden with the travel.
Good call.
There's a good look at Bolden, the transfer out of LaSalle.
She fouled out yesterday. It's a lot of foul trouble in this tournament.
Both of these teams enjoying the bye for Oregon State and the double bye for Gonzaga. The Zags making, like I said, the tournament debut today. Looks like Marat.
Now she's trying to fight through a screen instead of getting up over the top with her hip and sliding over the top, just kind of runs into it.
AJ's first foul, team's first. Great look at Lisa Fortier, her tenure at Gonzaga. We could go on and on and on. All I know is she just picked up her 7th WCC Coach of the Year award.
Big key right there. Allie Turner, the fantastic and the Freshman of the Year in the WCC Conference. Tremendous three-point shooter. They need her to be cooking this afternoon.
And you also talked to me, Mary, about the importance Ruick puts on defensive rebounding. Boom. Reese. Boom.
Reese, who didn't score a field goal till yesterday with the game winner at the end of the ball game, hits a 3 early.
And if that's a trend today, oh, Oregon State that much more dangerous. Dalton, healthy now, starting every game. Basket didn't want it, ball up for grabs. Look at Murat just kind of winning that scrum, but not for long. So Hybens checks in for Gonzaga. There's a good look at Scotty Ruick, 15th year winningest at Oregon State. Just picked up his 600th career victory, spanning the career that starts at George Fox, that includes the D2 National Championship in 2009. And then what he has done at Oregon State, impressive.
He's done a lot of good things, but this year's coaching job, and we did some games in November and December. Did we think we'd see them here in the semifinals? I don't think so. The improvement has been dramatic.
Losing all of those to transfer. Look at Bolden, how she avoided the tie-up. Oregon State losing most of its key players last year to transfer, and Ruick, yep, Schuler is going to get nicked for that. Her first team second.
These teams know each other extremely well. So you know Schuler wants to lower her shoulder and get to the rim. And so you play it very, very well. Get low and just stay between her and the basket. Outstanding job defensively there by Dalton.
Dalton selling it as well. Here's Ejim. This is where she's really dangerous around the basket.
Great take, get out of the way. Oregon State's got to bring some help to just squeeze that thing. You cannot allow Ejim to just go left and right unfettered.
In the 2 games regular season play against Oregon State, Ejim averaging 26 points a pop. She can go off. Mary mentioned
inside.
Bolden again. Bolden again.
What a start.
Wow.
Her career high for threes made is 4. She did that against San Francisco earlier.
Nothing there for Hybens and Ejim. Now Bonnie off the screen, puts the ball on the deck. Now picks it up, 8 on the shot clock. O'Connor, floater, not there. Ball tipped into the hands of Schuler. Here comes Oregon State. Little collision there with Schuler and Bolden.
Maybe some rust in the early going for Gonzaga.
It's a 9-2 Oregon State lead. Wow, triple time for Oregon State.
And what is happening? In game 1 against the Zags, this Oregon State team hit 10 threes, and that's really what carried the day.
4 of 5 from beyond the arc for Oregon State right now. Are you kidding me? Basket didn't want it. Ejim draws that foul. Fajeda with that infraction, her first. 3-point shooting by Oregon State. Look out. The 2025 West Coast Conference Basketball Championship is brought to you by Credit Union One. Discover better banking for all at cu1.com. By Gatorade, it fuels the best because it is the best. And by Nike, a proud partner of the West Coast Conference. 12-2, Oregon State with the early lead in this semifinal game. Mary, it's been raining threes.
It's been raining threes from a team that shoots 28% from 3. The kick out from Schuler. Bolden is a 31% three-point shooter. Reese, a 31% three-point shooter. And the rain continues from 3. And then Fajeda is a 27% three-point shooter. So the challenge for Lisa Fortier and the staff of Gonzaga, do you keep playing off the shooters because you're so concerned about Fajeda's and Bolden's drives, or do you start coming out and then open up the driving lanes?
You scout this Oregon State bunch. They average 5 made triples a game. As Mary did the math, 4 already. And that's what you want to see is Allie Turner catch and shoot.
That's not what Oregon State wants to see, that's for sure, because she is a dynamic three-point shooter at 45%.
92 triples now. Best ever in terms of single-season threes made for Gonzaga. Well, there's a miss, but look at Fajeda.
Sela Heidi on the game at 6'7" for Oregon State.
So Reese sits Heidi in. There's the length, and at times you will see both of those bigs playing at the same time for Oregon State. Off balance, not there, Little with the board. And here's Turner, the freshman out of St. Louis. Oh, what a story she's been. Salenbein also checking in and scoring for Gonzaga.
She's been so important for them. Injuries all season long, back healthy now, and boy, does she give them a lift.
Injuries all career long.
There you go.
She has been saddled with injuries since day one at Gonzaga. Healthy, making a difference.
Yeah, she's much like Sela Heidi that has just battled both of them. And just to stay out there and play is really admirable.
Schuler trying to keep the ball alive, and we will go the other way. And that is Kennedy Schuler's second foul, Mary.
That is huge. 5-0 run since the timeout by Lisa Fortier, and the let's sit down and talk about it. And Schuler will sit. A huge loss defensively and offensively, because she has just completely absorbed Scott Rueck's offense, what he wants to run and how he wants to do things.
So Schuler will take a seat. Schimmel and Reese will check in. Bolden sitting as well. Wow, 2 early fouls for the orchestrator of the offense. Heidi doesn't bring it down. Nobody can knock that out of her hands, and Marat will walk it up. 12-7 Oregon State.
So now A.J. Marat will rotate over as your point guard. Schimmel, much more of a shooter.
We'll see the execution and patience of Oregon State in the half court without Schuler. Marat with the baseline, you bet.
Just a beautiful job of spreading the floor. Marat had made a couple of threes yesterday, so they got to respect it. Puts it on the floor and attacks. Ejim will be checking in shortly.
You notice when she's off the floor, that's for sure. Triple, not there for Mout, and the ball belongs to Oregon State. Ejim checking back in, and here comes Betancourt as well.
The drive by A.J. Marat from the left side as the ball swings. You can see all the help in the paint. Now you're trying to react. You try to throw on the brakes, and Marat does the blow-by. As you watch this Oregon State team defensively, you can see how much they will play off Esther Little, basically just zoning up wherever she is, and it's like 4-on-5 because they just are not worried about her scoring.
That's a great read. Little, really a good rebounder, role player, but only gives you 2 points a game.
Wow, another.
Wow.
Look at Heidi.
So Heidi with the illegal pick. She picks up her first, team's 5th, Mary.
Scott Rueck is looking for an explanation.
Heidi and Reese on the floor at the same time. There's the length we've been talking about for Oregon State. Great pick, lots of room, back rim and off. Love the hustle play, but we'll go the other way. Lisa Fortier. All those 20-win seasons, all those NCAA appearances, her courageous battle, diagnosed with breast cancer last year, didn't tell the team until after that deep run, Sweet 16 run in the NCAA tournament. Schimmel. Fajeda again. Whoa. We hear the whistle blow away from the shot. This is going to be interesting.
It's going to go on Ejim.
Let's make sure.
Calling the shot good.
Well, now they're calling
it's
it.
going to be on Heidi.
And Ruick cannot believe it. I think they're going to give the hook to Heidi. Was the basket good?
With the left arm swinging through. Boy, that's really a call that could have gone either way.
Oh, big time. And more foul trouble for Oregon State, as
to say the least.
Both teams using this as a timeout, if you will, as Kenny Nash, Mark Merritt, and Sherelle Blue talking this one over.
As the shot goes out, both
the previous play is under review.
Box out, one's trying to get to the O boards.
All right, still discussing. Here's a good look at the Gonzaga huddle.
The initial call was basket good, foul afterwards. We'll see if that holds up.
And then one of the officials waved it, kind of the stop sign and the no good.
After review, basket's confirmed good. Gonzaga ball under the basket.
The basket is counted. Foul is number 2 on Heidi. Let's take another look, Mayor.
Look at the bottom of your screen as the shot goes up. Ejim and Heidi going at it down low. And that left arm of Heidi comes swinging through, and that's what they called.
2 fouls now on Heidi. She takes a seat. So Schuler and Heidi both with 2 fouls in low, high percentage.
Well, they like that mismatch down low with Ejim as the passer. So you're bringing Reese away from the Fajeda away from the basket.
17-9, just over a minute to go in this really fun first quarter semifinal. Number 1. Short on that triple was Bolden.
The three-point magic is starting to go away for Oregon State.
Laws of average would indicate that would be the case. Hybens wanted it down low. She's going to repost. Yes, she was. O'Connor, can't leave her alone.
Oh, she did not play in game 2 because she was sick.
Betancourt, basket didn't want it. Unlucky there. Really nice job of Fajeda not to get tied up, and Marat will walk it up.
And it's challenging for Oregon State because in these kind of sets, you've got to call plays where Marat's bringing it and then has to come back to the basketball. You can't initiate quick hitters to her.
Few seconds differential. Shot and game clock. We're deep into this first quarter now. 7 on the shot clock for Marat.
Yeah, that one's going to be on the floor against Hybens, I think. Just battling Reese, trying to make that cut high. A much more aggressive Kelsey Reese offensively, just as far as her movement, her body language, than yesterday.
Hybens picks up her first, only the team first for Gonzaga. So 9.6 left to go in the quarter. Shot clock off, game clock will start on the inbounds. Schimmel all alone. Schimmel
on the floor.
Wow, and that is Fajeda just going up against 4 jerseys that were white.
Beautiful play, running it for Schimmel. They love running her off some stuff, looking for the open threes in the corners on out-of-bounds plays.
All right, on Dalton, her first, team second. 6.3, plenty of time to get a quality shot off, Mary Murphy. Here's Marat. 3 now for Marat. Marat? So a hot start for Oregon State. They led it 12-2 early with all those threes. Gonzaga getting back into it. The Beavers lead, though, after 1. We're moments away from the start of the second quarter semifinal action. Number 1, Oregon State leading Gonzaga. It's time for All Access. Speaking of Oregon State, let's go inside that Beaver huddle.
Good job defensively. Held them to 9. Let's keep that up, okay? That's the number. Let's keep them under 10, keep them under 12 each quarter. Your defense was great, okay? Good job on the boards, great position and great energy.
You hear the goals, Mary Murphy.
Well, the number one goal for Scott Ruick defensively was defensive rebounding, and they did a great job of that. They are +8 on the boards, defensively +5 on the D boards. The other thing they did a great job of keeping the ball out of Yvonne Ejim's hands. She took one shot. She made that shot in the 2 previous games. In the initial game that Oregon State won, she took 20 shots. In the second game that Gonzaga won, she took 24 shots. Scored in double figures, of course, in both of those ball games, but limiting her to just a couple touches a quarter takes you a long way to win in this ball game.
That's going to have to change as Bonnie inbounds it, and second quarter is underway. Ejim demanding the ball. Betancourt getting it inside, automatic.
As we discussed. What a great pass.
The seal by Ejim, nifty. Beheda.
Ejim and Reese just going at it inside.
My goodness.
What a play.
Yeah, what a battle. 10 on the shot clock. Murat elevates. I'm thinking of Schuler still on the bench with those 2 fouls.
She may be there for a while.
Yep.
Maybe going to the locker room and eating oranges and biding her time.
Murat loves that mid-range, not able to can that one. It was a good look. Off the pick. Dalton didn't want it. Turner. Another 3 ball for the yearling.
Yeah, when you watch her shoot, you feel like you're watching a 3-point shooting contest. It doesn't matter where she is. Her form, her release, spectacular.
Look out, good defense.
The length of Esther Little.
And that's what Little does. She's not going to score a whole lot. She's going to be disruptive defensively and board.
Zags, look at this entry pass. Here comes Ejim. I mean, there's not a lot of room to operate. She gets it and delivers. Kick it. Corner. Little. Great screen. Bottoms up.
Oh, boy.
Showtime.
Look out. And we're tied. And look at Little. St. Louis's finest. It's an 8-0 Gonzaga run. Look out. Here come the Zags.
The 8-0 run by Gonzaga. A picture-perfect pass. The delivery to Ejim, that is tight. And then Allie Turner goes to work. Beautiful job with the screen, buys her some time. And then one more time. And who's the trigger person on this? Esther Little. 2 sensational passes and liftoff for Gonzaga.
The freshman season by Allie Turner, maybe only topped by what Yvonne Ejim has done, but that is a 1-2 punch that is envied.
But what you're missing for Oregon State with the 2 personal fouls on Schuler and Heidi, you lose rim protection at 6'7", and you lose their best perimeter defender in Kennedy Schuler.
Gonzaga mopping up on the postseason awards. We talked about Fortier and Ejim. Allie Turner, your freshman of the year. That was a no-brainer. Murat elevates. Nice job by Little to just kind of distract a little bit.
Seen the value of Esther Little with her assists and her rebounds. Not a good decision there.
Mary, I'm going to have you put your coaching cap on. 8 minutes to go in this second quarter. Early, obviously. Do you bring Schuler in at some point?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, if you go down 10 or 12, maybe, but she's just too valuable. And speaking of valuable.
Wow. So the run continues, and Gonzaga with its first lead of the game.
What a great player does is the ability in a small amount of space to do great things.
Reese, nothing called, a lot of contact. Gonzaga on the run. Good transition defense.
Look at the space that Ejim has on this. Does all the work early, gets low, shows a target, makes eye contact, and knows exactly, no wasted motion. She reminds me of a young Nneka Agwumike, the way she's able to just use space and with her footwork get results.
That's a great comparison, Mary. A great and very accurate comparison. Zags by a deuce. Turner, rimming out. Good job. The guard's doing a great job on the boards for Oregon State.
The other thing the foul trouble does for Oregon State, it really just impacts the way Scott Rueck can manipulate this game with different lineups.
Schimmel, catch and shoot. 3 is true. Big one.
And that solves a lot of your problems if Schimmel can get hot.
The former walk-on earning the scholarship at Christmas time. That's a gutsy 3 by the youngster.
It was a great video, wasn't it?
Yep.
When she opened the card and the scholarship was there.
Christmas party, and boom, your life just changed, young lady.
Oh, her parents' life changed the most. They're not making those tuition payments.
From a small school in Oregon, Schimmel, Class 3A, and here she is playing big-time basketball. Semifinal action, game number 1 here at the Orleans Arena. WCC Women's Conference Basketball Championship. Reese, can she step in? She only has 2 on the shot clock, just throws it up.
Sometimes you get stubborn, like I'm gonna get the shot off, kick it out, repost.
Here's Ejim. She'll dive down after the pick. Maybe not, stays up top. Turner off the pick. Hybens rimming off, and again the guards doing the work on the boards for Oregon State.
Well, their guards are really good rebounders.
Bolden, Fajeda.
Hi, I'm the Defensive Player of the Year the last 2 years in the WCC. I'd like to introduce myself.
Salenbine and O'Connor checking in. Oh, Yvonne, what a story on and off the court.
Just, she was an academic All-American a year ago. Her goal after basketball's over to go to medical school and impact her communities with what she can do. She is just a shining star among student athletes.
And joy to watch. Her story's been incredible on the floor as well.
Mismatch, they weren't able to get it to Reese.
So Fajeda wheeling in. Again, contact will go the other way. On the run is Turner.
Ejim early position, it's over.
And Yvonne Ejim, with that bucket, becomes the all-time leading scorer at Gonzaga, men's or women's. She passes the great Drew Timme. 2,309 points and counting. Oh, Yvonne. Hesitating, Salenbine, back rimming off, follows her own miss. Record-breaking bucket for Yvonne Ejim.
Runs the floor, shows a target, great pass. And you are seeing greatness when you see Yvonne Ejim play. There's never wasted motion in her game. Humble, we had her on the podcast earlier this year, and points in the paint. And when your name's associated with Drew Timme, you are doing something right.
Wow.
With 2 fouls. Look who's back in the game.
Yep, and Murat just picked up her second, Mary.
Schuler and Heidi back in.
Lefty. Well, you could tell the second it left O'Connor's hand.
That's how you break a zone. Shoot him out.
17-3 run for Gonzaga.
We were talking in game 2 at Gill when O'Connor was not there, how impactful that was, how much he stretches out the zone defense.
Gives you double trouble from beyond the arc. Reese knocked away. Wait a second, whistle blows the play dead.
They call a foul.
So Reese gets nicked for that foul, her first.
Scott Rueck is doing a great job of keeping his composure. Top of your screen. The Reese reaction after the pass.
So Murat with 2, Heidi with 2, Schuler with 2. Oregon State, big time foul trouble. Jeppes on the floor for Oregon State. It's a 17-3 Gonzaga run.
It's been a blitz.
And Turner's the one that led the way.
Sure did.
4 on the shot clock. Well, if you're little, you got to put it up. There's the block by Heidi. Can this get Oregon State going?
Well, despite the blitz, you're only down 4. You got a lot of people in foul trouble, and you just really want to get yourself to halftime with this thing in a manageable situation.
Oregon State has only managed, I think, 3 points this quarter at this point, Mayor. 3:45 left to go in the second stanza.
But the quick start makes that not sting quite as much. Reese is really going at it. They're going to call a foul with the hold against Gonzaga. We had a 3 seconds call. We had a foul called.
So Little will get called for that foul, but anybody who goes down in the kitchen tangling with Reese is going to feel it, and Fortier not happy with the call.
And let's see them go to work on each other. And Little got the call.
Another big stick for Schimmel.
Takes advantage.
Salenbine had a notion. Turner.
We talked about Schimmel back in the game. Who is she guarding? Allie Turner. Her size, her length just makes it a lot more difficult to get that pass entry into the post. The threes haven't been coming quite as frequently. Huge difference maker.
Ejim and Dalton returning to the Gonzaga lineup. Great to have Dalton healthy, the transfer from St. Mary's. Difference maker for sure as a starter.
Twin Towers in the game for Oregon State.
3:15 left to go in the second quarter. It's a 2-point Gonzaga lead. Off the pick, Turner thinking twice. Long ball, Hybens. Bam!
How about the setup by Turner? Drives into the paint, rocks back, looks out to 3, uses her left hand and just shovels it back out to Hybens.
Mout with her 12th triple of the year. She's a 24% three-point shooter. Sure looked good on that release.
Take advantage of all the attention.
Reese short on that shot. Everybody crashing the boards. Dalton coming up with it. Waits for some help. Hybens wants it down low, squaring up against Heidi. There's the block. Sela tries to keep it alive. Second block in a matter of moments for Sela Heidi.
Okay, if you're Hybens, you've experienced it now. Great shot blocker. She's 6'7". You cannot shoot over her. Head fake, get into the body.
Inbounds. Oh boy. So Reese is going to pick up her second foul. Well, you watch West Coast Conference action. We'd love for you to join the conversation. Here's what you do. You use hashtag WCC Hoops. And for the latest news, features, and more, follow WCC Hoops on social media. So Reese joins the cluster of Beavers in foul trouble, Mary Murphy. Dalton rimming out the first one.
It's a growing cluster.
Well, you look down at the bench and some of your key players saddled with the 2 fouls, 2 of whom are in this game. Actually 3, Heidi, Reese, and Schuler. Bonnie. You love the hustle play by Dalton, but into the hands of Schuler.
Well, we are in Vegas, and Scott Ruick is rolling the dice.
3 of the players on the floor for Oregon State right now playing with the 2 fouls. Reese, the travel.
She has really let the intensity and the tempo of this game kind of just get to her internally. That's not Kelsey Reese's strength right there.
The veteran, I agree with you 100% as Fajeda checks in for Oregon State. Almost as if the emotions are just kind of winning the day right now. Turner, floater. Boy, she just does it all, doesn't she?
We have a two-time player of the year on the floor today. We might see a potential future one in Allie Turner. How spectacular has she been?
Double figures already. Look at the quick hands by O'Connor. Gonzaga coming up with it, and here comes O'Connor on the wing. Fajeda.
Offensive.
Yep. Taking one for the team, Fajeda.
Well, that is a big charge. A bucket there, and they go up 9. For me, it really is time for Fajeda to take over a little bit offensively, maybe clear some things out, let her put it on the floor. She's so good, so quick with the drive. We just haven't really seen that yet.
22-5 Gonzaga run. Oregon State led by 10 early in this one, thanks to 3-pointers. Schuler almost gets stripped, but the foul will blow the play dead.
You know, when you've got good help in place, there's just no reason. You've got to constrain yourself from reaching because the help was there.
So Oregon State will inbound as Betancourt picks up that foul. Team's third, by the way.
Better job defending Schimmel out of bounds.
Murat really nowhere to go. Fajeda. Blocking foul, and exactly what you were talking about, Mary.
I mean, it's like oxygen for this Oregon State team. Both she and Bolden, when they put it on the floor, they are so tough to contain, and we haven't seen much of it so far.
Dalton picks up her second, team's fourth. Again, Fajeda, the transfer out of Baylor, really, especially as soon as conference play started, just really adjusting to Ruick's system and doing so many things on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, think about today. She started out guarding Yvonne Ejim. And then she rebounds and she scores, and her efficiency has just continued to increase as the season's gone on.
Disruptive on defense as well. 2 big sticks for Fajeda from the charity stripe. 29-24, $110 left to go. There's the travel. Yes.
Great call.
Yeah, it really is. It dragged, didn't it? Betancourt got caught right there.
She had an open high bins at the high post, waiting to knock down another one.
Can Oregon State take advantage? Schuler, Murat, Reese playing with 2 fouls.
1-2-2, three-quarter court pressure.
And here's Murat. She'll take that pick, nothing there. Reese again, ball on the deck.
Gonna get Ejim on the floor.
Only Yvonne's first foul, team's 5th. And again, it was, Reese had it in her mind she was going to go, and boy, she went.
She needs to have a quick meditation session at halftime and just find her inner self. And some players play well, sped up and fired up. I'm not sure Kelsey Reese is one of them. I think she just needs to be super calm.
Turner checking back in. Hey, coming up at half, the Sterling Global Financial Championship Central Halftime Show with Eric and Ernie waiting. They're going to break things down in the first half, as only they can, and a big picture look at the WCC tournament. It's the Eric and Ernie Show coming up.
I'm sure one of the things they'll discuss is Yvonne Ejim. 4 touches, 8 points. Great job by Oregon State not letting her get a bunch.
It's been Turner getting a bunch. 1 of 2 for Reese, 29-25. 45 seconds left to go in this semifinal matchup. Turner off the pick. Good defense by Schuler. She's going to have to be careful. Will Kennedy playing with the 2 fouls.
She is not playing careful defense. She's just playing defense.
Salenbein, 7 on the shot clock. Long ball. Hybens again. Wow.
She had, coming into this game, made 11 threes, just 24%.
Now she's got a couple of them. One off her career high. Wow. All right. 6 seconds left to go in this quarter. Here's Reese. Gonna curl in and draw another foul with 2.4 left. Mout.
Hybens She has plenty of time.
Last year, the 6th Woman of the Year, Hyben's flourishing as a starter for Lisa Fortier this season. Missed a bunch of games with the concussion in mid-January, early February. They are a different group with her on the floor. Boy, these free throws mighty important for Oregon State. Hanging around the Beavers. Remember, they led by 10 with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Gonzaga boat racing them a little bit since then. 2 of them for Reese, big.
And Oregon State survives
Yes.
with Marat, Schuler, and Heidi, all with 2 personal fouls. None of them elevate to 3. Mission accomplished.
So Gonzaga with that massive run, and yet Oregon State more than hanging around. This is anybody's ball game. 32-27 at the break. Jordan standing by with Gonzaga head coach Lisa Fortier.
Yeah, Coach, back and forth we go. What did you like about that first 20?
I liked how we settled in a little bit after the first 12. They scored those in record pace, and then after that I think we guarded much better. Towards the end we got sent into the line, so that wasn't as good. I think just grateful that we made it. You know, it's a game of runs, so they're going to make theirs. We need to make ours. We need to minimize theirs a little bit.
Allie Turner, her first WCC tournament. She's coming out good. How big has she been for your group?
I mean, she's been great all year, so she's kind of doing things that she does. It's difficult to zone with her because she gets loose, but we need to make sure that we're guarding as well. So,
thanks, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you, Jordan. All right, halftime commencing here at the Orleans Arena. 32-27 Gonzaga, the top seed, leading Oregon State. Right around the corner. You know what's waiting. You know it. The Eric and Ernie Show.
Welcome to the Credit Union One West Coast Conference Basketball Championship and our halftime show presented by Sterling Global Financial. The Stars have showed up and showed out here in our first semifinal game of our women's bracket in Las Vegas. Gonzaga on top at the break, 32-27 over Oregon State. That's Coach Ernie Kent. I'm Eric Rothman. We're back here at the Orleans Arena. And Coach, great first half for both of these teams. Oregon State gets out to that hot run, and then you see why Gonzaga is a perennial powerhouse in this conference. They come right back to take the lead at the break.
Let's talk about how they did that. Oregon State had some great looks early on, but no paint touches, no paint drive. So it's kind of fool's gold shooting the threes, even though they're 6 for 13, they're shooting at a high percentage. But Gonzaga, all of a sudden, they started making threes and scoring in the paint, which is what brought them back in the game. They went on a great run to get control in this game right now.
First half highlights. We'll start with Oregon State. Coach mentioned the three-point shooting early. Not necessarily their bread and butter, Coach, but sometimes some things happen and all of a sudden they start dropping.
Well, Coach even mentioned that they beat them one time having to shoot threes, and sure enough, they start letting them fly. Bolden lets them fly. They go in. You get Bolden again in the corner. And I just think, again, the threes are there. Gonzaga's kind of standing off a little bit, daring them to shoot them. And when you can shoot and make them, that's great, but you got to get point touches because at the other end of the floor, the Zags do get paint touches inside out. You see the 3 by Turner. They get another inside out 3 by Turner. So they're doing a better job of getting that ball inside. And, of course, they've got a stud in Egypt that can score at any time. And she has been phenomenal in this game.
She really has. She hasn't touched the ball a ton, but she is perfect from the floor when she does. 4 for 4, 8 points. She's now the all-time leading scorer in Gonzaga history. That is both on the men's and women's side, passing Drew Timme in the first half at that career mark. And you see just how good of a positioning and footwork she has in the paint as we take a look at our first half stats brought to you by Triton Point Wealth. You first always. You see the three-pointers there for Oregon State. As Coach mentioned, not a whole lot of paint touches for the Beavers in that first half. But they're going to have to figure out a way to stop the player of the year in this conference, Yvonne Egypt, and the freshman of the year in this conference, Allie Turner, who lit it up in the first half. We'll have more from the Orleans Arena here at the half. And your Sterling Global Financial halftime show. This is The Bucket. Yvonne Egypt, your all-time leading scorer in Gonzaga history. Welcome back to the Credit Union One West Coast Conference Basketball Championship and our halftime show presented by Sterling Global Financial. 5-point advantage. For the top seed on the women's bracket here in our semifinal game number 1, the Zags on top by 5 over Oregon State. Well, no surprise that with that 1 seed comes a lot of accolades. Yvonne Ejim, your player and defensive player of the year in the conference. Allie Turner, freshman of the year. And how about the story of Lisa Fortier, 7th time voted coach of the year in this conference, coming off battling breast cancer all of last year and looking healthy, feeling great, and has her team as a 1 seed here in this West Coast Conference tournament. That's Ernie. I'm Eric, back here with you at the Orleans. And Gonzaga, coach, both on the men's and women's side. No surprise that they're in this position, getting the bye to the semifinal. But what you're seeing out of Gonzaga, I think, in that first half is they can beat you a lot of different ways.
You know, I've talked about Oregon State being 6 of 13 from the 3. Well, Gonzaga's 6 of 14. But Gonzaga's then got 7 other buckets on that floor, and they can score inside and outside and do a nice job of shooting threes, but they've got a strong inside game. And the other thing I've noticed, they've scored 3 times against Oregon State's out-of-bound zone defense. So obviously they have scouted that and have countered that with excellent offensive sets.
Yeah, so some good coaching for Gonzaga there in the first half. Good coaching for Oregon State as well, but they're trailing by 5. Ernie, what do they need to do to overcome the deficit in the second half?
I think the basketball has got to go inside in the paint, and you can do it 1 or 2 ways. You can post up and feed the paint, or you can drive, and you've got 2 excellent drivers, one in Bolden on the outside, that you've got to have an opportunity to get that ball to the basket, get easy buckets, and maybe get some fouls as well, too, and get to the free throw line. Yeah,
Oregon State dealt with a ton of foul trouble in that first half. We'll see if it comes back to bite them as the game progresses. All right, we appreciate you joining us here on our Sterling Global Financial Halftime Show. Ann and Mary will have the second half on the other side of the break. They will not be flipping tables as the West Coast Conference Halftime Show comes to a close. Presented by Sterling Global Financial. Stay tuned post-game for the Sterling Global Financial Championship Central Show right here on ESPN+.
Welcome back to the Credit Union 1 West Coast Conference Basketball Championship. Yeah, halftime show was great. We're at the Orleans Arena. Semifinal action number 1. Gonzaga leading Oregon State 32-27. It was a Gonzaga club that trailed by 10 in that first quarter, and then their 2 primary scorers started scoring.
Yeah, they really took over, and the foul trouble for Oregon State was hugely impactful as well, but it was the Ejim and Turner show, and the sideshow was Hybens. She was pretty awesome.
You look at this Oregon State team that was outscored by a bunch in the second quarter, and yet they're only down by 5.
That's exactly right. So anybody's ball game, the importance, again, for Oregon State is to stay in the ball game with their stars. But right now, the challenge for Scott Ruick, do you go man, do you go zone? Because they're much better when they're in the zone, but the zone buster, Allie Turner, has been tough to locate.
And boy, she really got the rally going with all of those triples. And I mean, nobody can shoot the 3 on this club like this kid.
That is exactly right. And out of St. Louis, the freshman of the year in the WCC conference. I mean, there is no limit to her range. And her teammates did an outstanding job of finding her. The great assist here on the drive to Hybens, who came off the bench with 8 points. And in just 4 touches, Ejim shows you what she can do. A tough matchup. Fafaheda down low when they're playing man-to-man. This is just sensational. You're smothered and you still get it to go down. And here's the record breaker right here. In transition, Yvonne Ejim becomes the all-time leading scorer in Gonzaga history, men or women.
All over the record books at Gonzaga and in the WCC. So Ejim a little quiet early on. Turner made sure that Gonzaga that rally was in good form. So, Mary, what does Oregon State talk about in that locker room to keep out of foul trouble and keep the optimism going?
Well, I think foul trouble may come, but you've got to play hard. It doesn't help you to play careful. You need Schuler on the floor. You need Heidi on the floor. They've missed her when she wasn't out there. You know, she shoots, and we've talked about it all season long, at like over 70% from the floor. She needs touches close to the basket. Murat needs to heat up. Schimmel did a nice job off the bench, certainly. But the decision, do you go man, do you go zone? This is a tough team to guard man-to-man because Ejim just works so hard, gets open, and she's tough to handle even with a double team.
All right, this is a good time before we get the third quarter started to toss it over to Jordan, who caught up with Oregon State head coach Scott Rueck.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Well, he came out. He was in the locker room for a really long time, had a lot to talk about, but he said, we just need to get more resistance on the defensive end. They had a strong first quarter. Zags had a strong second quarter, but they need to stop fouling and give resistance, especially on the three-point line, guys.
Give resistance.
You think about Oregon State playing in its first ever WCC Women's Basketball Championship tournament. They're an affiliate member in the WCC. It's the first time on this floor. It's the first time in this tournament. Just kind of a different edge, Mary.
A surprise shot by Esther Little. Offensive rebound.
Ejim, again, bodies flying, but the guards of Oregon State, we've said it. Bolden, Fajeda, Schuler really hitting the boards hard. But all those in foul trouble for Oregon State will have to be careful as the third quarter is underway. Ten on the shot clock for Oregon State.
Little.
Nowhere to go. Murat, and now Schuler. Can she get to the rim?
Well, that's where she's best.
It was a good take by Schuler. She is so aggressive going to the cup. Nothing there for Kennedy, and here's Ejim. Reese has got to kind of let her go. Ejim rolling out. Ball belongs to Oregon State.
So it's a game of possessions, right? But if you're Oregon State, that's a win right there because Ejim misses a very makeable shot for her.
We're early in the third quarter. Semifinal game number 1 here at the Orleans Arena. Winner of this game will go to the championship. That's tomorrow. Washington State, Portland will play in game 2.
And the loser will sit and hope for an invitation to the WBIT.
It's a great point, partner. Schuler loses the handle. Turner looking for help. Ejim keeps it alive. Turner 3, looks short, is short. There's Fajeda, just kind of hip checking O'Connor out of the way for the rebound. Nobody finding the bottom of the net yet in this third frame. Fajeda wanting to step through, not there.
Ejim with the block from behind.
Dalton looking for a seam, couldn't find it, so Gonzaga setting up in the half court. Dumping it inside, there's the double team. Kind of a wild pass to Little. 10 on the shot clock for Turner and Gonzaga.
High screen.
Ejim will put it up. Reese, good board, just kind of ripping it away so that Little couldn't tie her up, and here comes Schuler. Nothing there for the trailer, Murat. Early in this game, it was all threes for Oregon State. They're in the half court now. Murat. And we're going to stop play.
Little hit the back of her head.
Yes, holding her head.
Charge.
Yep.
Moves her feet. Nothing called either way.
She had to miss 3 games earlier in this season due to a concussion. That happened against Stanford. Little. All the way to the cup, rimming out. Bonnie not there. Scrum for the board. Travel will go against Oregon State, and the look on Rueck's face, he can't even look at the scene.
And Ejim is holding her head.
And slow to get up. This game has been very, very physical.
Little still trying to see how she's feeling.
Salenbine Rimming off. Schuler almost loses it, but she'll lead Oregon State's push. Good transition defense. Schuler kind of keeping that ball alive, but nowhere to go. Murat, big triple. She needed that one.
Great start to the second half for A.J. Murat.
5 straight points for Murat. We are even at 32 apiece. 6 minutes left to go in this third frame. Salenbine off the pick. Bolden chasing Salenbine. And the ball stays with Gonzaga on the block.
A.J. Murat ties this ball game up. The probe by Schuler, you really understand the value she has on the floor. She's looking inside. It's not there. Kick it out. Murat's really hitting some big threes in this tournament.
Boy, to your point, though, that was all Schuler drawing the double team. Oh, there's Turner again.
Her 4th three. She's 4 for 7.
14 points, as Mary mentioned, with all those threes. What an answer by Turner. Reese with the 3. Air ball.
Gonzaga, inbounds play. The inbounder is always so dangerous. You just kind of lose track. Your flow and thought is always forward. She slips behind. Great pass. Great 3 from a terrific freshman.
Career high in triples for Turner is 6. Here she is wheeling and dealing. Ejim. And now Betancourt. Hybens. Look at Vonnie.
All the work early.
And the follow.
Persistence. What did Scott Ruick say? Defensive rebounding is the key. The lack of it there just cost him 2 points.
All-time scoring leader, men's or women's. And here she is playing the defense. Misses it. She's kind of laughing at herself.
She sure is.
You don't see that very often. Fajeda, wild shot. The block is going to go against Gonzaga.
Hybens is holding her left shoulder.
And again, a very physical game. 37-32, Gonzaga with the lead. 4:32 left in the third. Great crowd here at the Orleans Arena for semifinal game number 1 in the WCC Women's Championship Tournament. All access time, you know it. Let's go inside the Gonzaga huddle.
Stops and rebounds. Okay, stops and glass, stops and glass. Okay, it's been okay. Okay, it hasn't been stellar on the stops and the glass. All right. Now, if your person screens, Bree, that's just an easy switch.
What'd you learn, Mary?
Well, she's just trying, nothing profound, but just let's talk, let's communicate on those switches. It's an easy switch, so that means let's talk about the easy switch so we're all on the same page.
Hybens, excuse me, slow to get up. She picks up her 3rd foul. Should make a note of that. And the good news, Little, who conked her head pretty good, back on the floor for Gonzaga as Fajeda hits the first free throw.
So Ejim will sit as they try to get her some extended rest following the timeout.
Fajeda gets them both.
When you look at this Oregon State team, they really haven't been able to get Sela Heidi going at all in this ballgame. She continues to sit. She's been such a difference maker, whether she's starting or coming off the bench.
Good defense by Bolden to cut Turner off. Wow, Mout, come on.
She looks like she is a three-point shooter. Again, coming into this game, had made 11 threes on the season.
3 triples now for Hybens. That ties her career high. Murat with the answer, and she holds that follow through, claps her hands, and says, let's go.
She's had all the answers. All the scoring for Oregon State this quarter is A.J. Murat.
Back and forth we go. 3:45 left to go in the third. It's a 3-point lead for Gonzaga. a team with all these conference tournament championships. They're looking to go to the finals again. Hybens, now ball on the deck, runs into some trouble and will go the other way. Hybens with that foul. Fourth personal foul on Hybens.
Little rub there, the little step back for three.
Mout.
And then just a beautiful jab. Hey, you're not going to respect it. I'm going to rock back and hold the follow through.
And you see the emotion. AJ was quiet, Mary, playing with the personal foul issues in the second half, but she has really started looking like herself. Here she is again.
Just important for her not to fall in love with the three. She's so good off the move and off the screen.
Boy, really running that floor well and beating everybody down the floor wearing Oregon State gear. Betancourt.
Betancourt, the 5'9" junior from Portugal, transferred in from UConn. Steady for this team. 6 points a game. Get a couple of rebounds. 3 assists a game. So she just comes in and gives you something. It's exactly what you want.
While you watch West Coast Conference action, join the conversation using hashtag WCCHoops. Easy peasy. For the latest news, features, and more, follow WCC Hoops on social media. Betancourt, as Mary mentioned, the transfer. Know this, though, Mary. Murat picks up foul number 3. Schuler splitting the defense. Hesitation, 3-ball. Wow, Bolden, and she claps her hands.
Boy, the confidence that this Oregon State team is shooting the threes is inspiring when you've watched a team all year long that has struggled so mightily from distance.
9 points now for Bolden. Patient, Gonzaga half court. Salenbein looking for Ejim, finds her. Now 8 on the shot clock. Here's Dalton. Good Oregon State defense. 4 now. Wow.
Another offensive foul.
Yeah, so Schuler hanging tough in the stance, draws the foul.
Bolden, 3 of 5 from distance. Schuler doing all the work. You can't complain about the defense. Steady, right where he needs to be for Dalton, but just a great shot by Bolden.
The block as the aggressive Fajeda goes to the cup. That foul is going to go against Dalton. She's got 3. So Hybens and Dalton each have 3 fouls for Gonzaga. Here's a good look at Allie Turner. A couple of tosses for Fajeda.
Heidi back into the ball game for Reese.
Cat is a perfect 4 for 4 from the charity stripe.
You know, it's interesting as we watch this game, all the pressure really is on Gonzaga. They have been to 5 consecutive NCAA tournaments. For this Oregon State team, they come into this season just trying to regather after all of those great players left, and they got to the Elite 8 a year ago, just trying to get their team together. And so to be in the semis and have this opportunity, they got nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Fajeda now with 12 points. How great has she been, the transfer from Baylor? We're tied up at 42 apiece. 2:05 left to go in this back and forth third quarter. Here's Ejim squaring up on Fajeda. Bouncing the step. Good job by Heidi. Doesn't want to bring it down. And a chance for Oregon State to reclaim the lead.
And behind her was Heidi just waiting if Ejim was able to get into the paint to come over and be a block master.
Schuler staying out of foul trouble, operating the offense. Fajeda was tempted. She'll go to the cup instead. That's good defense, and we're going to go the other way. O'Connor thought she might dump it inside to Little. Instead, it's Salenbein. Look at the hands by Fajeda. Tries to recover. Ejim hits.
Well, Esther Little doesn't score, but she does do a lot of little things that add up to a major contribution.
Little with a lot, that is for sure. 44-42 Gonzaga. 12 and 10, another double-double for Yvonne Ejim. She makes a living in that department. Under a minute to go in the third. Here's Schuler. Wanted to step through, great hands. Salenbein will lead the charge. There's the travel. You saw Murat just kind of coax that out of her opponent.
Well, didn't have a lot of options, really. You don't want to play too aggressively and get another foul called. Looking for the big Euro step to clear through, but you felt that little sense of indecision.
44-42. Just a smidge under 44 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Oregon State looking to claw ever closer or maybe draw even.
Really got a feel for how important Schuler is on the floor. Can she hit another one?
Bolden, not quite there. Heidi wrestling. Heidi tag team and throwing the bows. Possession arrow with Oregon State. Sela. You like the look on the long bow, and Heidi doing a good job of crashing the O boards on the miss.
And a great job at tying it up. She just brought it down enough that you could jump up and just hang on for dear life.
Here's Schuler. Goes right up against Little. Height advantage to Gonzaga. Vonnie to the floor, makes the save, and here comes Turner.
Mismatch.
And just short on that. Tip ball to Gonzaga. Back rim and off. You got to hoist it if you're Turner to beat this clock. Instead, it's Ejim. Not there. Oh, what a game we have been treated to. 44-42. Gonzaga, the #1 seed, leading 4th seeded Gonzaga to the final quarter we go. The Credit Union One West Coast Conference Basketball Championship is brought to you by Jersey Mike's, a sub above. We're going to get right into the billboards after we talk about the Gonzaga lead over Oregon State, 44-42, as we start the fourth quarter.
And this is what it's all about. A trip to the NCAA tournament, and you've got to win the semis to get yourself to the finals, to get yourself to the NCAA tournament. The big winner yesterday, UCLA, and the big win over USC, but up and down and all around, who will be the WCC champion? Because only one, and this year, will be going to the big dance.
You know, and it's a great point, Mary. You look at this Gonzaga club that goes to the NCAA tournament time after time, I believe 5 straight, 15 overall. And last year they had the comfort of knowing they were in no matter what, even if Portland beat them. That's exactly what happened in the championship. This year there's no wiggle room for any of our semifinalists.
There really isn't. And you look at Oregon State, and we've talked about it on this broadcast. If you would have even mentioned getting to the finals and getting to the NCAA tournament in November, December, people would have just shook their head at you. That's how far this program has come.
And a great crowd on hand. You know Oregon State is going to travel, and so does Gonzaga to cheer on Claire O'Connor.
Great three-point shooter. Again, missed that second game due to illness at Gill.
Both of the regular season games going to overtime. We've got to remind you of that. And another barn burner here when it matters most. Semifinals of the WCC Tournament Championship. Fajeda, jab step, Fajeda!
She is playing with so much confidence. You know, the first couple months it was all in a hurry. Now it's just whatever it takes, whatever we need.
15 points for Fajeda.
Including 3 of 3 from distance.
That ties her career high. She showed you some distance work yesterday. Doing it again today. Off the pick, mid-range. Oh, that's sweet. Turner.
Boy, her decision-making is just impeccable.
Freshman, my eye.
And Oregon State, 10 of 20 from three-point land.
16 points for Turner now. Her career high is 23.
They've only made 3 twos in this game. Wow.
Fajeda, full head of steam. Not there. Following up is Fajeda. Ball stays with Oregon State on the hustle play.
Claire O'Connor. And now we got Turner. Comes off that screen. If you go behind it, she's going to find some range. You'd never think she's a freshman the way she plays the game of basketball.
And how about that pick by Little? My goodness, she's a player. Murat off the pick. That's what Mary wanted, was the mid-range.
Both these teams out of bounds, just outstanding with the play calls and the execution.
Murat in double figures. What a ball game this is. Semifinal action, number 1. Ooh, O'Connor coming off that screen, draws the foul.
Talking about Murat, she didn't want this to be her last game. 10 points in the second half on 4 of 5 shooting, and she's made a couple of threes.
Schimmel with that foul, her first, team's first. We're early in the 4th quarter, a game that has had ridiculously fun ebbs and flows. You look at a player like O'Connor, Mary, and last year a role kid with all of those greats that Lisa Fortier had. She played a little here, sure. You play a little here, you play a little there, and O'Connor's role has amped up, and she's delivered.
She's gonna have a big role next year. 6-foot sophomore out of Bellevue, Washington.
Couple of tosses, 51-47, under 8 to go in this pivotal 4th quarter. Dumping it inside.
Beautiful screen from Reese, well played. Great pass. That's a play that just popped.
That is a Scott Ruick play all the way. Salenbine had a notion. Here's Turner, cut off by Schuler. Kennedy doing a good job of avoiding further foul trouble. Ooh, Fajeda with the check.
Yeah, they had the switch on that as Fajeda leaves. Here's the move. Wide open. You're a little late. And Murat says, I'm gonna make you pay.
There's the pick. And actually, that's not a bad foul because it was going to be a clear path bucket for Schuler. Unlucky as Salenbine picks up the foul. That was going to be an automatic 2.
Yeah, we've talked about this over the course of the year. You know, in the NBA and the WNBA, that they're giving you that.
Ruick not happy in the ear of Sherelle Blue. That is a break for Gonzaga at the moment. Let's see if Oregon State can cash in all the same on Schuler's steal.
How well has Schuler played with foul trouble from the start?
She and Reese doing a good job of avoiding further issues. Murat, the kick. Schuler, ball fake. Schuler, triple, not there. Look at Fajeda. Reese. Fajeda.
It's kind of like Earth to Fajeda. How high can you go?
We'd like it a little higher, please, as the ball stays with Oregon State. Fajeda and Bolden granted that extra year of eligibility for Scott Ruick and Oregon State, granted by an NCAA waiver. Huge news for the Beavers.
Fajeda kind of checking out that right leg a little bit.
Oh, a crowd getting into it, and it is a good one. Ooh, 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 ooh. There's Little doing little things.
She's got such great length. She's 6'2", senior out of England. 4 years at Gonzaga.
And again, another role player. Never started a game last year. Now she's starting all the time.
Zone defense by Gonzaga.
Murat elevating. Murat draws the foul. She'll go to the free throw line. AJ continues to have a stellar second half.
Boy, it looked like a solid contest. You know, it's so interesting in a ball game how you can really let it go, and then some things you don't.
All right, fans, be sure to stay right here after the game for the WCC Championship Central show right here on ESPN+. We'll have all the highlights, hear from the coaches, preview upcoming games, presented by Sterling Global Financial, an official partner of West Coast Conference basketball in Las Vegas.
You think back to the spring when all those great players transferred out of Oregon State looking for a different experience, I guess. And Murat announced, I am staying. I love Oregon State. I love this program. And boy, she has just become the anchor of this wildly improving team throughout the year.
And enjoying a career year. That's a great point, Mira. She gets one of two. Ejim, by the way, picked up that foul, her second. So it's 51-50 Gonzaga. 6:45 left to go in this game right here. Ejim, oh, the tie-up. The travel before the tie-up. That's Fajeda playing the D.
Ejim starts this game 4 for 4 since then. She is 2 of 7. The defense for Oregon State has tightened it up.
Wow, a chance for Oregon State to take its first lead since 20-19. Not there yet. Reese, ball loose. Schuler getting hogtied by Ejim. That's her third foul.
It started for a game that Oregon State was in all kinds of foul trouble. It's really the Zags right now that are really deep in it.
Ejim, Dalton, Hybens, all in foul trouble for this Gonzaga bunch.
Well, Hybens with 4 fouls has really limited her minutes, and she was spectacular. 8 points in the first half off the bench.
Lighten it up from beyond the arc. You don't expect to see that. She's got the 3 triples, but you mentioned it, Mary. Playing in foul trouble. Schimmel. Murat with the scoop. Not there. Fajeda. But it's Ejim plucking that loose ball. And again, Oregon State missing the opportunity to reclaim a lead it hasn't enjoyed for a long, long time. Contact. Gonzaga fans not liking the whistle not blowing.
Feels like a mini kennel at times.
Home court of Gonzaga. There's the whip. Clutch. Yvonne Ejim.
And on cue.
53-50.
Back into the zone. 1-2-2. You got to be concerned about corner shooters in a 1-2-2. Schimmel in one, Murat in the other. Tough to get there.
Catch and shoot for Murat, not there. Ejim wants to lead the charge, she'll back it up.
Makes a good decision.
Yes.
Leading the charge is not what she's great at.
Murat had a look. The 3 to tie, not there. Now Gonzaga with the chance to extend the lead. Off the screen. Dalton picks up that dribble. Ejim. Wow, Bonnie Ejim time, I guess.
Okay, memo to Oregon State. The superstars heating up. Do not give her the mid-range.
Had been in that drought, and Hybens, who's checked in, is gesturing to the crowd. Get up.
Here comes the kennel.
Listen to this crowd.
Look at this crowd.
Ejim starting to feel it. Bonnie Ejim time. Mary mentioned the mid-range. You're looking at it. Wow, 5-point lead, Gonzaga. One West Coast Conference Basketball Championship is brought to you by Jersey Mike's, a sub above. By SoldOut.com, official ticket resale partner of the West Coast Conference. And by Hell of a Good Dip, a proud partner of the West Coast Conference. Speaking of Hell of a Good Dip, as you look at this Gonzaga lead as we near the midway point of the fourth quarter, let's take a look at the Hell of a Good Dip dish of the game.
And you should give it to the assist that leads to a record, and a profound record indeed. Just a beautiful dish inside, and it's the dish of the game. And the record now belongs to Yvonne Ejim.
Yvonne Ejim, all-time career scoring leader at Gonzaga, men's or women's. Doing it again today. She scored the last 5. First WCC women's player to eclipse 2,000 points and 1,000 rebounds on all the award lists, Mary. She has been just so much fun to watch.
Sure has, and in a game of runs, it was a quick 4-0 Yvonne Ejim run.
Yep, I said 5, it's 4. Thanks, Mayor. And the lead is 5 for Gonzaga. Big possession for Oregon State. Schuler keeps that ball alive.
It's a lot of length on Schuler.
Schimmel not there. Reese battling for it, but into the hands of Dalton. 4:30 left to go in the fourth quarter. It's a 5-point Gonzaga lead.
And you're just trying to hold it steady till Ejim comes back on the floor. Let her get some rest so she's ready to roll.
Turner weaving. Somehow, some way, chucks it up and it goes through.
And finally, a little smile from Allie Turner. She just plays expressionless. Reese.
What an answer for the veteran Reese.
She's been quiet. That's just her 9th point.
Early foul trouble for Reese. Boy, that was a big triple. Under 4 to go. Turner looking for help. Dalton off the pick. Dalton all the way to the rack. And count it! Wow, what a stick by Dalton, taking the contact. Invites the contact and scores. Big hoop for the grad. Can Oregon State dial up some late game magic like yesterday's quarterfinal thriller against USF?
At the top of your screen, you see how much time is left in the game. And Kelsey Reese with the game winner. As you watch it one more time, and I absolutely loved probably the greatest post-game comment for a game winner I've heard after it with Jordan Robinson. Sometimes it's not your game, but it's your moment. And it happened to be my moment. She had a terrible game. Those were her only points of the game, and it was the game winner.
So Reese, playing in foul trouble, isn't afraid of big-time moments, Mary. She's on the floor, and can we do it again? These clubs, it seems, all they do is play tight games. Let's do it again.
Yeah, it is just hard to believe how close, and of course, well documented that this Oregon State team has played so many close games, 6 overtime games in the WCC season alone.
Ball up for grabs. So 59-53. Dalton unable to complete the 3-point play, but the bucket is big. It's a 6-point cushion for Gonzaga. 3:30 left to go in the fourth.
Ejim will check in at the next stoppage.
Fajeda hesitating. Ball short. Reese, Schuler, Dalton. Don't forget Salenbine. Possession arrow favoring Gonzaga on the jump ball, and Ejim checking back in.
Oregon State, one of their last 8. Gonzaga has made 4 straight. That's the difference right now. Some full court pressure. Beautiful job in press breaks.
No problem for Gonzaga. Staying calm and poised. Again, this is a team that has won so many West Coast Conference championships, has been in the finals so many times. Turner dancing along that baseline with 8 on the shot clock. Salenbine, hawked by Bolden, high pick. 3 on the shot clock for Ejim. She's got to hoist it. Good half-court defense by Oregon State. Can they cash in? It's a 2-possession lead for Gonzaga. 2:35 left to go in the fourth.
Rook with the call, setting it up, getting people where he wants them. Clock running.
Murat spreading the floor, 10 on the shot clock, blocked by Salenbine. Still time. Fajeda. Oh, clutch.
Boy, clutch in caps.
14, make it 17 points for Fajeda to go along with 7 boards. And boy, did Oregon State need that bucket.
Take a broken play and turn it into 2 big points.
The cutter. Ball on the deck. Scrum. Now the possession arrow favoring Oregon State.
Exactly right. Just a nice job. Stay between Ejim and the basket.
Good defense by Oregon State. The quick hands to knock the ball out of Ejim's hand, and then the scrum ensues. Under 2 to go.
Scott Ruick communicating to every single player what the play call is.
Great crowd here at the Orleans, roaring.
Some nervous Zag fans.
Portland, Washington State next. Murat dumps it inside. Reese, you bet.
Mini 4-0 run. Help just couldn't get there in time.
Murat putting it right where Reese had to have it, and Kelsey doesn't bring it down and scores. The lead is 2 now for Gonzaga. Skip pass. Little, no way is she going to crank that up. Here's Turner.
Here comes Ejim.
There's that pick. Schuler tries to fight through. Picking up the dribble is Turner. She's going to go to that corner. Ejim now with 2 on the shot clock. You got to put it up if you're Little. Releasing, and the offensive rebound by Salenbine.
And Ejim fouled.
Wow. Oh boy, the one time you needed that defensive carom and it was not there. Credit Salenbine.
Just out of nowhere, tiptoeing the sidelines, saves it. Great decision by Little. She had to get that ball up. It hits enough rim to keep it alive.
So Fajeda picks up that foul. Her second to the line is Ejim for the first time today. Oh, what a game we have been treated to. Feels like a championship game.
And from loud to almost silent.
Ejim, first free throw toss of the game. She's a 79% free throw shooter.
Sure is.
Misses them. Reese gets hammered by Ejim, and that could be her 4th if it goes against Yvonne Ejim. So that is her 4th.
Hybens with 4, Ejim with 4. We're under a minute.
And know this, in that ridiculous rally by Oregon State at the Kennel in Spokane, Kelsey Reese drew 8 fouls in that game, and Ejim fouled out in that game. Ejim playing with 4 now. Crowd is up. 2-point lead for Gonzaga, under a minute to go.
For the tie or the lead.
Looking for the cutter. Murat, 3-pointer, rimming out. Fajeda, oh, Cat, smart enough to know she was going to get pummeled, and she'll go to the line.
Cat Fajeda, 6 foot, out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. First 2 years of her career at Baylor, played 5 minutes a game last year and averaged a point a game, a rebound a game. Scored 18 points in the whole season.
Fajeda now 7 for 7 from the charity stripe. More Credit Union 1 West Coast Conference Basketball Championship action coming up. Or, excuse me, Portland, Washington State, semifinal action, number 2. Cat Fajeda clutch, we're tied.
Again, Lisa Fortier, when she's talking to Jordan Robinson, says, this is a game of runs. We just want to have more runs and have a shorter run for Oregon State. But right now, it is the Beavers on the 6-0 run to tie this thing up.
West Coast Conference Basketball Championship action is brought to you by Sterling Global Financial. Semifinal game number 1 here at the Orleans Arena. These 2 teams who go to overtime in the regular season, both contests, each winning 1 of those apiece, now tied at 59 apiece when the stakes are the highest. Semifinal action here in the conference tournament. 39 seconds to go.
Hybens on the floor, Ejim on the floor, both with 4 personal fouls.
So a 9-second differential between shot and game clock. Here's Schuler with the pick. Schuler, can she score? Yes, she can. Oh, Kennedy Schuler.
How many times have we seen Kennedy Schuler do that? In that exact situation. Over and back.
That's got to be over and back.
Possession.
Oh, my goodness.
State. This is Kennedy Schuler. We talked about it. The foul trouble, how much it hurt Oregon State. just shot out of a cannon. Off we go to the races. The development of this point guard over the course of this year, what a play.
She has won a few games this year, Mary Murphy, going to the cup with the guts to take it and score it.
That's exactly right. But you're thinking about the commitment there. You don't get that, and you leave Allie Turner wide open as you're kind of sailing down the court for a three. Game-changing.
And then Gonzaga uncharacteristically turns it over. So with 25.1 left, Oregon State will inbound. Know that Gonzaga has the 5 team fouls. Both teams huddling
in the back of that.
One of the all-time greats wearing the orange for Oregon State. An 8-0 Oregon State run. And now you take care of the ball, because here comes some Gonzaga heat. Shot clock off.
Scott Rowick with a timeout. He's got some in his pocket, no problem. Really wants to get his team organized. What a comeback by Oregon State. An 8-0 run over 2 minutes. A game that it looked like Gonzaga really was starting to get under control, and it all evaporated.
Wow, some concerned Gonzaga fans, Marian. As you mentioned, this is a one-bid conference this year, without a doubt. I'm not dogging the conference. We're just keeping it real. Nobody's getting an at-large bid. You got to win the whole darn thing.
And we've talked about it throughout this game. For Gonzaga, all the pressure on them. 5 straight NCAA tournaments. For Oregon State, the Elite 8 of last year.
You see the game reset, possession arrow favoring Gonzaga. 5 team fouls on the Zags. Schuler will inbound. Here's Reese looking for some help. Finds it in Murat. Almost tied up. Almost throws it away, and she does.
Throw it away.
Oh my goodness.
The exact same situation.
So instead of calling a timeout, Murat just chucks it, and now Gonzaga with the ball. 19.9 left to go. Timeout, Zags.
The triple team. That's just surrounded. There's nowhere to go. The sideline is a defender as well, and Schuler just cannot corral it. Schuler was having a hard time finding somebody to get it to, and you can see the challenge for Murat, and that is just a sellout. If you're the Zags, you're like, we're giving up an easy 2 if it gets out of there, but the whole season rests on that possession.
So 19.9 left. Oregon State with the 2-point lead, but Gonzaga forcing that turnover now has the ball, possession, and a chance to tie or take the lead. Oh, this game, oh, Lord have mercy.
So if you're Gonzaga, you don't certainly want to use all this clock. You need to get a shot up, a good looking shot. You'll take a 2, you'll take a 3. But you got to give yourself time for an offensive rebound if the shot doesn't go down, or a foul, but you have got to come away with points.
Oregon State with only 3 team fouls. Keep that in mind. So here we go.
Fouls to give.
Ooh, almost a 5 count. Look out.
Over and back. It sure looked like her foot was on the court line.
Foul's going to go against Oregon State. 4th on Reese.
Let's take a look at this. Tough pass. Watch the line. Where's her foot? The heel. Oh my goodness.
Wow, wow, and wow.
Foul first.
17.8 left. Schuler had a notion.
Agent wants it.
She'll go to the line.
That's just a sign of a superstar, isn't it? We need a bucket. She gets as low as she's ever been, shows 2 hands and says, give me the ball.
Fajeda, well, that's a tall order for Kat to be guarding the great Yvonne Ejim. She picks up her 3rd. and Ejim will go to the charity stripe. She's 0 for 2 going into these tosses. 8.5 left. And if you're Oregon State, you have got to rebound any kind of a miss. First one is true.
Heidi checking in. Scott Roque has 1 timeout left.
Here's the big one. Got them both. So Roque will call that timeout, and a good chunk of time for Oregon State to get a good look.
It certainly is. And this was the situation yesterday.
Yep.
Tie game.
If you're Oregon State, who do you draw it up for?
Well, I think you love Murat, you like Reese, you like the game winner all season long has been Schuler on that drive, coming down the right side of the floor, right down the middle of the paint. Fajeda is super quick as well.
And defensively for Gonzaga, do you really bring some heat on that inbounds?
I think you do, but you're also concerned about the drives, and you can't afford to foul. So you just got to get in position. If they're going to just get into a jump stop and hit a shot, so be it, but you cannot send them to the line.
Both teams with 5 team fouls. It is 61 apiece, 8.5 seconds left to go. Oregon State with the ball. The winner of this classic will move on to the title game tomorrow. And again, Mary, this feels like a championship game.
It certainly does. Again, both these teams, they've played, it's been a season split, and both of them in overtime.
So this is the bracket. Gonzaga, Oregon State, Lordy, Portland, Washington State waiting for their turn in their semifinal tilt. And we've got the whole thing for you tomorrow, the championship game on ESPN2, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific. Crowd is up, and it's a great one here at the Orleans Arena.
So interesting in the huddle. It's Esther Little doing all the talking to her teammates.
So there's the length of Salenbein. Backs off just a little bit for Bolden. Here's Schuler. 6 to go.
Here comes Murat.
Schuler!
You know it's coming. You know it's coming.
She does it again!
With defense squarely in front of her and length in front of her.
Time after time with games on the line this season, Kennedy Schuler has been the one that Oregon State has turned to.
Yep, here comes Murat. Kind of clears it all through. Fajeda clears out and over the length. Schuler. Hang time. And the elation of the moment again and again and again this season. And I think this is the 4th game winner, if this is the game winner, that she has hit this year.
She has done it time and time again. Look at her squeezing through.
It's just her pure strength.
0.8 left to go in this game. This is not over yet. But we do know that Oregon State has the 2-point lead, more heroics by Kennedy Schuler. Oregon State winning at the buzzer in the quarters yesterday. And that late bucket by Oregon State has Gonzaga behind the 8 ball. What do you draw up here?
You gotta go. You gotta get a shot off as quick as humanly possible.
Schuler, how many points? 4. Doesn't matter.
Heidi in the game, Reese in the game. All the length you can put together on the inbounder. Sela Heidi at 6'7".
You can't foul if you're Oregon State. Here we go.
We're going to the rim.
Oh, Ejim had a look on the lob. Oregon State wins 63-61.
The number 1 seed has gone down here in Las Vegas. And the great WCC career of Yvonne Ejim is over. It is a beautiful setup. It gets to Ejim, the catch, the shot, and the futility of I'm not having the moment.
Wow, what a game. What a finish. Our Jersey Mike's sub-above player of the game, Kennedy Schuler.
Without a doubt, we saw her impact when she wasn't in the game. Play so beautifully and with so much intent, and what a finish. And the comeback kids, the overtime kids, the kids that don't give up, the Oregon State Beavers have done it again. Let the traffic clear and let Schuler do what she does, which is hit game winners.
Wow. Again.
One more time. The help was there.
Oh, the emotion.
And we've watched this all season long. We've talked about it.
All right, Jordan, take a breath. I know I'm going to. Kennedy Schuler, God bless you.
Wow. I'm still catching my breath. I know you are too. How did you call your own number and hit that shot to get this win for your team?
You know, I've been in that position before this season, so I know that I can do it, and I just had to have confidence in myself to knock that shot down for my team.
This went possession by possession, went down to the wire. How did your team stay mentally tough to pull this one out?
Yeah, we just stuck together. I kept reminding my team we got to stay as tight as we've ever been. We've worked so hard this season to give up the loss. So, yeah, I mean, I just had to keep reminding them on their little huddles just to stay tight and just play so well together.
One more to go. How do you guys keep this going?
You know, it's just another game. We just got to get back to the drawing board and do our thing, and you know what? Play even tighter next game.
Congrats. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. There's the celebration. Yeah, you're stamping your ticket to the finals. There, that looks good right there. Girl Kennedy Schuler. Our bracket, Mary Murphy. Let's take a look.
This is why tournaments are awesome. Number 4 seed Oregon State defeats Gonzaga by 2 and moves to the finals on ESPN2 tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Wow.
Face the winner of Portland and Washington State.
Oregon State does it again in the waning seconds. So they punch that ticket, defeating Gonzaga 63-61. The Beavers advancing to the championship game tomorrow. For Mary, Jordan, our entire ESPN Plus crew, I'm Ann saying so long from the Orleans Arena for now. Stay with us after the break for the WCC Championship Central show right here on ESPN Plus.